This film scared me so bad, all my hair came off.
Hva var det som skjedde egentlig?
Vi lekte bare litt.
The Innocence is a Norwegian horror film, and it's the second feature from director Eskil Vogt. This is his second directorial effort after the film Blind, and you may know him better as the screenwriter known for frequently collaborating with Joachim Trier, and he was recently Oscar nominated for co-writing The Worst Person in the World. So there's some firepower behind this one, and I was really looking forward to it. It premiered at Cannes last year, over a year ago, so this is how far behind Australia is. Now, this time of year is when we get the previous year's Cannes films, and there are a few others I've seen, but The Innocence is one I was looking forward to due to its very interesting premise. I won't say it's a super original premise, but it's one that really yields great results when done well. So what this is about, it's about a group of children led by Ida, played by Rakel Lenora Flottum, and she moves to a new town with her family and her mentally challenged sister Anna, and she befriends two other children, and they slowly come to realize that they are developing telekinetic powers. Now, kids are cruel, and when they have telekinetic powers, they can be really cruel. And I'm not consider. I think it's a film that is best going into pretty blind, but it sets up from the outset that some of these kids are pretty not so nice. Even before they realize they have powers, there's a lot of bullying going on, especially towards Anna, who is like powerless to defend against it. Think Chronicle, but a lot darker and with much younger children. One child, Ben, played by Sam Ashraf, starts to go overboard with his powers, and it creates a rift between these kids. And that's all I'll say. It's full of great child performances, especially Sam Ashraf, who is one of the most evil and terrifying children I've seen this side of Children of the Corn. Like, oh my god, this movie got under my skin, and that doesn't happen often with horror movies. And I wasn't really even expecting much horror from this one, and it is more psychological. It's built around atmosphere and tension rather than jump scares, and a lot of it's set during the day, but it is so effective. Like, yet another great entry into the I'm never having kids cinematic universe, because fuck. Again, the child performances here are all excellent and a big part of why you're able to buy the film. I appreciate that the film doesn't go too deep into the origins of their powers, of how this happens. I don't really care about that stuff if the narrative and the story you're telling is told well, and it really is here. This really got under my skin. Like, it scared the living shit out of me. There were times in the theater I was struggling to even watch. There's a moment pretty early on that I found incredibly upsetting on a personal level, so that kind of just put me in this weird head state for a lot of the movie. But the movie just maintains this atmosphere for so much of the runtime, and the fact that they're kids just makes it all the more precarious. Like, the whole time you're like, oh, I just know something terrible is going to happen. I just know, and it just strings you along. And I can't speak enough about the atmosphere of this thing. It's so well done. While I think it sticks the landing with the ending, I don't think it quite maintains its level of atmosphere, and maybe it was just like 10 minutes too long to quite be a horror masterpiece. But that being said, the ending's still pretty good, and it still fits with the film's tone and themes. And in the end, it's really an anti-bullying PSA, just done in a really, really effective and fucked up way. And if you're into Scandinavian horror, or Scandinavian cinema in general, this is one that I really highly recommend checking out. I think it's starting to release internationally in places like Australia and the United States. So if it's playing anywhere near you, really, really, I recommend going into this one pretty blind, and I recommend seeing it and see it with some friends, because it's a fun one. It'll really make you squirm. Like, I watched it with a friend who literally doesn't watch horror movies, and I think it scared me more than him. I was so uneasy the whole time, and that seriously doesn't happen often. So yeah, if you want a really great feel bad time, The Innocence is one that I highly recommend. I'm going to give this one an 8.5 out of 10. I think it's one of the best films I've seen all year, and again, one of the most effective horror films in recent years. And it's proof that you can do a lot with a little, because so much of it is based around implication, and because it's telekinetic powers, really so much of it is just, acting out, doing these horrible things. And it's so effective. So that is it for my review of The Innocents. Stay tuned. There are more reviews coming, including for Top Gun Maverick, which I am seeing tomorrow night. I'm very, very excited about that one. That's it from me. Have a good one. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on Letterboxd. Links in the description. Take it easy.